By combining the speed, intelligence, control, visibility, and domination you need to compete, the Killer 2100 Gaming Network card provides the perfect blend of gaming passion and technical know-how to guarantee your gaming experience is flawless in both its speed and its performance. Find out more information at www.bigfootnetworks.com.
Hi, this is EG.IdrA Fields of Team Evil Geniuses, and this is a Fragmore University Pro Replay review brought to you by Bigfoot Networks. Today we're going to be seeing me versus KiWiKaKi from the MLG DC tournament, and it'll be a ZVP on the map Blistering Sands. Here you can see me as the red Zerg on top right, and KiWiKaKi as the blue Protoss on bottom left. KiWiKaKi does a very aggressive opening this game, and we'll see how I try to defend it. And this game demonstrates a very important principle in defending early game aggression. It's always important to commit to crushing it absolutely. Like when your opponent is being aggressive, there is nothing more important than actually defending the rush. It's not good to focus too much on maintaining your economy behind it, on preserving units or anything like that, because when your opponent invests in an aggressive build, they are going to have more invested in their army than you are. That's just the nature of an aggressive build. And this means that you have to commit absolutely to be able to defend it. If you don't, then you die. And we will see the results of trying to focus on maintaining your economy while defending the rush in this game. KiWiKaKi went 8 pylon and then 8 probe scout here, sends out very early. This is very important for any PvZ players out there. If you can block the Zerg's expansion, that's a very, very powerful tactic. If you can do it at all, you should always focus on doing that. It's especially effective this game, as I was going for a 14 hatchery fast expansion, hatchery before pool. This means I won't have Zerglings out very quickly to clear my expansion, it delays it even more. My drone coming down to try the expansion here. Kiwi's probe is there well in time, and it is very worth it to send out your probe early like that, just to make sure there's no possible way for Zerg to take their expansion. He's very carefully micros it around, buying as much time as possible. He's waiting to gather minerals to build a pylon here, because the pylon means that I really can't expand until my Zerglings are out. There's no way to clear that in time with drones. This means I have to put up a pool, build drones of my own, and just focus on building up without getting that hatchery. Kiwi is building his gas here. His gateway is almost done. He'll be putting up a cyber core and teching immediately. In this game, he actually does a very unique opening, a quick 2 immortal warp prism drop in my main, and then uses the warp prism to warp in 4 gateway zealots. And this is a very unique build, but it's also a very powerful build. And one of the major problems I have this game is that I have not seen this build before. It is unique. This makes it very hard for you to respond, and that's the power of a creative build. It gives you the element of surprise, and your opponent is just thrown out of his comfort zone. As you can see, the effectiveness of this pylon, I still haven't expanded. I'm just waiting on my Zerglings. And he continues to harass me with his probe, buying even more time. But back in his base, I have stolen his gas. For Zerg players, this is a very, very effective strategy. It limits Protoss's options. They can't go lots of fast sentries or even lots of fast stalkers because they only have half as much gas. Also, so basically it limits the number of strategies that they could be doing, which allows you to predict their play much more effectively, which obviously gives you a big advantage. Especially in a situation like this where he doesn't even try and kill the gas. I know he is staying on 1 gas, so there are very few strategies that he is capable of doing. So I should know what he's doing, but again, as he's doing a very unorthodox strategy, this quick robo, I'm still caught someone off guard. Here I'm probing with my Zerglings, I'm trying to figure out exactly what he's doing. I know that he's not doing for a really fast warp gate all-in because he's not chrono boosting the cyber core. That's the first thing you look for when you're harassing his ramp with your Zerglings. Here I've put down my expansion, I'm getting Zergling speed, and I should be building a second queen very quickly. I got a creep tumor, oh, my second queen's already out. And I used my first queen to plant a creep tumor, spread the creep between my main and my natural. This allows you to defend much more easily as your units can go back and forth between the 2 bases very quickly. You can see warp gate's almost done. He's building his first immortal, and he's finally taking down that gas. I know he's still on one gas, so there's a very limited range of strategies he could be doing. Most of the time this will mean a quick warp gate expansion, but in this case it means a quick immortal drop. As you can see, he's still on 2 zealots and 1 immortal. He started chrono boosting out a second immortal, and here he puts up 3 gateways. He delays getting these because he really does not need them until his warp prism is actually in my base. He does not want to build units in his main because there's no way to be aggressive with them. He's not building units until he can actually build them directly in my main. As we can see, my Zergling speed is done. I'm scouting all around the map looking for proxies because at this point I'm not really sure what he's doing. I see that he has expanded, but I also know that he didn't take his second gas until very late. So at this point I'm confused. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm going lair, I'm also getting roaches, I'm getting the second gas. I'm just trying to prepare for anything at this point. I'm also getting a second spine crawler in my 3rd gas. And I believe his immortals came out. I seem to have lost it. But his immortal drop is on the way. There we go. The warp prism's out. It has 2 immortals in it. It's headed for my main. And my overlord did see this come out. I am prepared for it. I lay a creep tumor over here to help defending. I have my Zerglings over here to try and trap any units he drops down. But here we get back to that principle I mentioned at first. I only leave 1 queen in the main. I leave 1 queen here to keep doing the larva injections. I also go Hydralisk in preparation for a later build. And as you can see, I just don't have enough units to defend. If I had reacted immediately and overwhelmingly, brought my 2nd queen up here, I would have been able to kill the warp prism, and that would have stopped the rush right there. But as it was, I tried to be greedy. I tried to keep making extra drones and getting more larvae, and this allowed him to continue pushing. Now, before we continue, I just want to pause and remind you guys that this replay review is brought to you by Bigfoot Networks, maker of the Killer 2100. The Killer 2100 is a top-of-the-line gaming network card that increases performance across all online games. I use it myself, and I love it, and I'd highly recommend you guys check it out at www.bigfootnetworks.com. Now let's go back into the game. As you can see, his warp prism did survive, and he's now able to continually warp in zealots, which means his push just keeps getting stronger and stronger, and I am stuck on Zerglings and roaches, which really aren't a great counter to this. He's also been very careful about microing to keep this 1 immortal alive. This immortal is the basis of the entire build. If he loses this, my roaches will just deal with the zealots very easily. But as he was very careful about protecting that immortal, the push stays alive and just keeps growing in power. And here I lost my roach warren, which means I can only build Zerglings, which makes his zealots even more effective. And really at this point there's just no way I can defend. I start to pull my drones and my queens, and the situation just keeps becoming more and more dire because I did not respond overwhelmingly at first. You really just have to focus on immediately crushing any kind of aggression like that because you know it's going to be an all-in build and that if you defend it, you're going to win. So it's worth it to cut drones, to lose your queen, just anything you can do to defend it. Otherwise, situations like this happen, where it just kind of spirals out of control and you can never deal with his aggression. And at this point, I've lost all my drones, I lost my queen, I lost my tech, and I have almost no units left, and the situation's pretty dire. The game's pretty much over. And there's the GG. I hope you enjoyed this replay and the analysis, and I hope you learned a lot from it. This has been a Fragmore University Pro Replay Review brought to you by Bigfoot Networks. For more information on Bigfoot Networks Killer 2100, visit bigfootnetworks.com. For more great StarCraft 2 content, visit bigfootnetworks.com/Fragmore and the Evil Geniuses team website at www.myeg.net.
By combining the speed, intelligence, control, visibility, and domination you need to compete, the Killer 2100 Gaming Network card provides the perfect blend of gaming passion and technical know-how to guarantee your gaming experience is flawless in both its speed and its performance. Find out more information at www.bigfootnetworks.com.